Tony just went to his father-in-law's house for a cup of tea, but when the host saw he was a beggar, he secretly used his internal energy to make trouble. However, Tony easily neutralized the attack, and to prove his strength, he used his internal energy to instantly boil the tea. This left his girlfriend nearby stunned. She never expected the beggar she had picked up was so powerful. Little did she know, Tony wasn't that simple. His true identity was the leader of the martial arts world. He was just out playing with his daughter when they happened to run into the beautiful CEO of a corporation. She was holding a matchmaking contest, claiming that whoever defeated her would marry her. But for 3 years, no one had ever succeeded. Just when she thought no one could fight back, Tony's daughter pulled him onto the stage to register. Seeing Tony dressed as a beggar, the crowd looked down on him. They mocked him for being out of his league. The CEO didn't want to fight herself, so she told Tony to beat the challengers first. Then she flew back to her seat to watch the show. As soon as she sat down, Tony's daughter joined her to cheer him on. Meanwhile, the crowd was full of disbelief. A martial artist was the first to charge forward, but his punch didn't even touch Tony. Tony only used one finger, and the martial artist was instantly powerless. 2 more masters rushed up, but the outcome was the same. By the end of it, no one could defeat Tony. The CEO had no choice but to fulfill her promise, and quickly married Tony, but she told him not to get too excited, because the real challenge was with her family. They had been martial artists for generations, so when Tony stepped into their house, her parents' faces immediately changed. They couldn't believe she had brought a beggar home, and even got a marriage certificate. They were furious, so they planned to persuade Tony to leave. They thought her father would seriously hurt Tony, but Tony easily neutralized his moves, and even boiled the tea to drink. At that moment, her father no longer dared to look down on him. Then came the mealtime. Since the father and daughter had lived on the mountain for years, they didn't know proper etiquette, and directly tore the meat with their hands. This disgusted her mother, who stopped Tony from taking any food with chopsticks. Unexpectedly, Tony's internal energy was stronger than hers. He easily neutralized her internal energy. Just then, the door was violently kicked open. It was the martial god Overlord, furious that the CEO, whom he had liked for 3 years, had married a beggar. So he came to threaten the father to marry his daughter to him, or he would kill the whole family. However, the couple stood firm and refused to back down. The next second, they were struck and vomited blood, falling to the ground. The noise caught the little girl's attention. Tony instantly reacted and gripped the Overlord tightly.